Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobes show. I had a moment there when the camera was not on, which is a bit strange. Hello. Everything's all a bit weird today. Welcome along. Thank you. We're now live on the 22nd of April 2020. It's 8 o'clock. The people keep telling me that the show is starting in 7 hours' time. I don't know where you see that because in the little thing that I set up over here, it says that, to tell people at 9:40, 17:40, 19, quarter to eight is what it alerts people. They give them 15 minutes to make a cup of tea, get a tea and biscuits and all that kind of malarkey. But obviously somewhere in there's a little thing that is saying 7 hours. I don't know why that's coming along, but there we are. Tis what it is, if you see what I mean. Anyway, lovely to have you all. Let's see who's out there. We've got the lovely Ed Loud. We've got Turbo Stream. We've got Monk Stanton Man. Turbo Stream again. Charlie Cooper. Roy Ballinger. The lovely Julia, of course, is there making sure there's no trouble whatsoever. Ron Rabbit. Ron Langley is out there. Connor's Dark Corner. Right there in the darkest corner of the corners. Barry Stevens, hello. How are you? Mike Dixon is out there. Helen has given me a haircut as the barbers are closed. Uh-oh. Did she use the same shears that you used on little Bella? That's what we want to know. Are you now as bald as me? We might find out, actually, in the video. Turbo says it's 7 days, 7 hours at 3:45. It shouldn't be 3. Oh, I wonder if the time zone is different. Hang on a minute, that's an interesting point. Am I in English time or American time? I don't know how to set it. It says here April 22nd, 2020 at 8:30. Maybe the computer somehow has been set to American time. I'm not sure. Who knows? But anyway, I'm here. I'm here now. You're here now, so we'd better get on with it, I suppose. Hope you're well and doing things. The lovely Linda Kane is out there. Sorry, I missed Linda Kane out there, which is great. Mark Stanton Man says the Vobes show seems to be broken. Well, do you know what? It's been running every single day. I'm not surprised the wheels are starting to fall off. They're just getting a little bit loose. I think I'm also getting a little bit loose. But let's not worry too much about that. I've got a cup of coffee on the go. And look, here, in this box, ladies and gentlemen, unopened, picked out of my post box this morning, a mysterious figure like Father Christmas, dressed in red with a white beard and a sleigh with bells, with a fine lady called Dawn at the helm. Yes, John, from John and Dawn, or Dawn and John, put this little time bomb into my box. I have yet to open it and see if it will explode with a marvellous aroma of fruitcake. Hopefully it will. You're ahead of your time, says Mike Stevens. Yeah, not you as well. Cake! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, cake. This is the birthday cake. John's birthday was yesterday. He was 25, and he looks at least a day over 26. Anyway, that is cake. Not only did he deposit this, which we're going to go and try. I say we. You're not trying it, mate. No, it's just me. Just me. I know, it's so mean of me. It is mean of me. I appreciate that. But then John and Dawn went over to Morrison's, the supermarket at the rear of my house, on some of the finest Vobes land, where they grow their special food and they sell them there. It's all part of the Vobes plantation, don't you know, he says. Then he came back and mysteriously shoved something else in the box, and I thought, what the hell can that be? What's he up to? So I went out, and I had a little shufty, and then there was this. And I thought, oh, I know what it is. It's full of sausage rolls. No, not sausage rolls. Donuts. No, not donuts. Is it a bottle of rum? No, nothing like that. Bread flour, 60p for a kilo of bread flour. Is it a kilo? Yeah, 1 kilogram of bread flour. Very heavy bread flour, so it must be the strong stuff, very strong. Been doing its press-ups. And then later on today, I had an email from the lovely Gabriel, who I hope is out there. He's lovely Gabriel out there, who said he's sending something in the post. And he sent an attachment, a lovely attachment of something they're sending in the post. I thought, I wonder what that can be. To me, little old me. Guess what it is? Strong flour. I'm going to have more flour coming out my ears than I know what to do with. I got a kilo of this and probably another kilo of flour coming in the post. Must have cost an absolute fortune to send. Probably cost more than it is there. But I shall be making lots of bread. You're all invited to come round for cucumber sandwiches on the lawn, don't you know? Not that there's much of a look. Might have to be Morrison's car park. Cucumber sandwiches sounds absolutely lovely. I'll even get Mr. Suggett to grow the cucumbers, which would be nice. Everyone's saying cake, yes, cake. Nikki Jess says, hello, Richard. Hello, Nikki. Andy Stacey says, evening to you. Dave Baker says, I'm making cheesecake. Oh, cheesecake, that sounds delicious. How do you make cheesecake? Maybe we should do some cake baking and cheese caking on the show. Bread flour, says Mark Donny. Yes, I know, going up in the world here. It's like heavy, man. You're telling me it's heavy. Hey, do you know, talking about it's heavy, man. Heavy, man. The other night after the show, just as a bit of a laugh, I was just checking my phone, going through the things, messages, and then up on my timeline came The Young Ones, an episode of The Young Ones, and I lay in bed watching a bit of this, The Young Ones, nothing but the young, that series with Rick Mayall and Ade Edmondson and the others, and what's his Nigel Planer, Heavy Man. I watched a bit of that, and actually, I remember at the time thinking, it's all right. I wasn't overly enamoured with The Young Ones because I think it was new and cutting edge, and I wasn't so interested in new and cutting edge. I was still into old and scoring the edge, I suppose, blunting the edge. But then I thought, it's a lot better than I remember it, very quick fire and stuff. But actually, it was really just Monty Python done by younger people in a more cruder way. Anyway, talking about Heavy Man, I thought I'd bring that up. Brian Matthews says, hi all. Hello, Brian. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming in. And Turbo Stream C told you had all the flour. Well, I've got all the flour now. I'm going to open up my own flour mill. It should be, not that I need a mill, of course. Ripton, that's not what I meant to say. Richard Upton said, hey, Richard, don't normally do this live chat thing, but might take part tonight. Richard Upton, for somebody who doesn't normally do this thing, I'm very pleased to see you doing this thing. In fact, Richard Upton, why not give us a call? Why not throw the whole lot in? Throw the oar in, get rowing, and ring 0793 4746 Do the whole thing. We'll have a chat, and you can tell me why it is. I don't do this sort of thing, don't you know? It's not my thing at all, but nobody's watching at the moment, so I'm going to give it a good old go, which would be great. Is it me, or is that looking a bit... I think I'm just going to fiddle with the camera. This is very unprofessional. You don't see this on the BBC, where they start fiddling with the camera and saying, do you know what, I'm just going to tweak everything. There's a gallery of people that do this sort of exposure, manual, +1. There we go. It's a bit brighter, isn't it? It's a bit brighter. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice. Yes, Dean Cooper says you can sell it back to Morrison's. Flour is rather rare at the moment. Well, if it's rare, I want you to have a look at this. This rare... Now it looks like it's overexposed. Is that overexposed? Oh, hello. There's a phone. Wrong phone. You've got to ring the other phone. Oh, I don't know. It's kind of overexposed. I'll try not to overexpose. If it looks too overexposed, I'll unexpose it. How about cheese scones, says Linda Kane. Oh, send me a recipe, Linda Kane. Cheese scones. What do you need to do? There's butter. I'm assuming there's butter and sugar involved. And cheese, of course. And what else? Well, flour, obviously. You'll be shocked if we all turned outside your front door, says Ron Langley. I would, although people do stand up outside my front door. Do you know, I was sitting on my step earlier today, having a few moments to myself. To be honest with you, I've had a bit of a lazy day today. I didn't go out and do any filming because I had one already in the can. I've been filming quite a bit, and I thought I'm going to have a bit of time out today. I will go out and film something for, what's tomorrow, Thursday, Friday show, so don't panic. I will get another video done. Don't worry. I mean, one day of sitting on my Todd, taking it easy, thinking, oh, I could do this and I could do that. I should paint the bathroom. I should clean the kitchen floor. I should do some washing up. Did think about all those things, but I thought, no, I'm going to take it easy. So I was sitting on my step in the lovely sun. Wasn't it burning hot sun today? I was sitting on my step there. And then this couple went past and I nodded to them. I was sitting deeply enthralled in a book about the open field system. Do you know much about the open field system? The open field system of the old Saxon, Anglo-Saxon days of the people having strips of land and all this sort of nonsense. Well, you'll hear about it in tomorrow's show, so in tomorrow's video, I'm afraid. Anyway, I was enthralled reading this deep history thing, and this couple went past. They said, "Oh, excuse me, are you the bald explorer?" And I had a hat on at the time to protect me from the sun. I said, might be. And they said, you are, aren't you? You're the bald explorer. And I said, yes, look, there it is. That's me. So we had a nice old conversation. She said, yeah, no, I do follow your... Not every one, she said. I said, oh, sorry, I'm not going to talk to you then. I'll only talk to every other word, not every word. No, we had a nice conversation. It was quite nice. So people do sometimes turn up at my door. It is quite amazing. The great thing about this keeping your distance business at the moment is I don't feel at all upset now about saying, oh, sorry, you can't come in and have a cup of tea. Which is lucky, really, because there's nowhere to take them. They'd end up bringing them in here. They wouldn't want to come in here, would they? Anyway, so I might be upset. Linda Kane says, I will. My sister has the best recipe ever tasted. Oh, right, it's fine. Don't fret, Richard. Don't fret. I'm always fretting. Loverick Mail, one of my favourite actors, says Charlie Cooper. Mark Dolly McLeod says, I was watching The Goodies last night whilst trying to fix PC. It wasn't ill. Anyone who remembered we just lost Tim Brooke Taylor. We did just lose Tim Brooke Taylor. It was so very sad, very sad. Nice to have a life that he must have had being silly most of your life. I think if you can go through life being silly, it must be, a bit of a good old life. Nigel Sadler says there's a website that lists notable residents of Worthing, past, present, pleasant, and you are listed. Am I? Oh my goodness, they'll all be coming knocking at the door. As I slurp my coffee. Nobody's ringing me this evening. Well, don't panic because we're going to have a little bit of cake. But we're going to have to wait for the cake until after the first video. So let's get through some of these videos. The first video coming up now. Oh, that's interesting. I press the button and the... Normally you get this sort of thing happening. And it didn't happen that time, but never mind. Right. By the way, Kevin's hurt his back. If Kevin doesn't turn up and you'll get a bit worried about him, poor old Kevin has hurt his back. And I said to him, I think it's because you keep loafing about the countryside. We never know where you are. John O'Groats, Land's End, somewhere in Lanzarote, could be anywhere. Last we heard, he was down under. He'd been walking so far. Let's see where he is, catch up, whatever he's been doing at the moment. Now, he heard about the satellites. There are some satellites that were whizzing over. So the first part of this video he sent me is totally in black and probably stone silent. That's what I figured. But don't worry, it will start. Eventually.
Just come down through that gate there. And that's the way I've got to go. And I'm underneath these beech trees, and I can't believe how well they're out in leaf now. I've seen other beech trees and they're hardly coming out in leaf at all, but these are just amazing. So advanced. But it's making this lovely canopy over the path. And I've got a rough idea of where I'm going to be coming out now. Just in front of me there's some Cowdray cottages, and there's the ruins away in the distance through the trees, and this should bring me down to a little bridge, I think, and there's a path that goes up through there, up that way, so that would take me but just up behind me here, got all this bamboo and this close boarded fence, and there's a lovely house up in there, So I'm just coming down now through past these cottages. You can hear the crows or the rooks up above me. There's a little industrial area just here in front of me, and that takes you through to what is known as the Wharf in Midhurst, which is over there. And this is the little bridge just in front of me, which is quite a well photographed bridge, in all honesty, because when you come the other way it's quite a lovely view. You've got the stream that goes down through there, and this joins up with the river Rother, so that all goes down through that way, and then just round the back is the Rother, which it all joins up to, and it runs round the back of the polo fields, just below where the Cowdrey Ruins is.
I'm so sorry. I was just looking. I'm sorry about that. It's slightly taken off guard there. I was just looking. I've got an error message come up here saying my keyframe frequency is 4 seconds or less. I don't understand what that is. It's like somewhat disturbing. I can see me now looking at the screen. This is what you've just been watching me. Very highly concentrated. Don't I look an intelligent man there? Looking somewhat intelligent. I'm just going to press a button and see what happens. Now, I'm hoping this doesn't kill the stream. Let's hope it doesn't. Opening the widget. Oh, here we go. Yes, messages. Poor. Stream status poor. I wonder if that's because they upstairs are using it. I've opened the widget, but I still don't know how you do anything about it. Error, error, error. No data. We seem to be going out all right, though. I don't know how you change that. Anyway, I'm going to ignore it. I'm just going to ignore it. No, don't. Time for some cake, ladies and gentlemen. Time for some cake. Lovely tunnel of green, video quality, very smooth and clear, says Barry Stevens. That's good. I was walking down the river only a few weeks ago on the Rotherwither. What were you looking? Very pondersome. Yes, I was looking very pondersome. I was just, as I say, I was looking at the this little error message, but it was a bit more than the error message I was normally getting, so I wondered if the whole thing was keeling over. Anyway, they're going to open up this. Where's my cam of webness? Here we go. The cam of webness is going to reveal all of this. Hang on a minute. I'll just make sure that Kevin is switched off. That's better. Oh, blimey. Oh, I don't know why I bother with this. Everything's going completely bonkers. Right, into the show, into the webcam. No, why is that not working now? That camera works. The webcam is... Oh, the webcam's not plugged into it. That's probably why. Oh, sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. We were fiddling. By the way, we were fiddling earlier. Here we go. We were fiddling that's my arm. We were fiddling earlier with the system. Let me come out of that. We were fiddling earlier with the system to try and make, to get guests on the show using Skype, so that we could see people and they could talk to me if people use Skype. But we had a few technical issues and we couldn't rectify them. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hello. My name's Mindy.
Mindy?
Yep.
Hello, Mindy.
This is really silly. I was watching your yesterday show.
Yes.
At lunchtime today.
Nice.
And you were just making your cup of tea.
Oh yes.
I was screaming at the telly that you were making it wrong.
Oh no! I've been making tea wrong for years. In what way was I making it wrong?
The milk always goes at the end.
Now, hang on a minute. Get your fisticuffs ready for this. Tea has got to have boiling water on it so that it steeps. Is that not right?
Yeah, but you made yours in a pot, so I'm going to I always put the tea bag into the cup.
Yes. Now, I agree with you. I completely agree with you, Mindy, because if I'm making tea in a cup, I put the tea bag in the cup and I pour the hot water on and I let the tea do its steeping and then I add the milk afterwards. But when I do it in a pot... the hot water is going on the leaves in the pot. So then the tea is effectively made. I'm still adding the milk afterwards, but I'm pouring the made tea into a cup with the milk in it. Would you
Yeah.
would you still put would you still put the milk after you've poured the tea in the cup then?
Yeah, because if it's not strong enough when I've tipped it into the cup, if it still looks a bit weak, I'll just tip it back into the pot. If it's strong enough.
Well, that does make you like strong tea.
I like it. When I have a cup of tea, I always put 2 tea bags in. I do use the really cheap tea bags. But
oh, right, fair enough. I'll tell you what you want to do, and this is, I'm not doing any advertising at all in any shape or form, and I'd hate people to think that I was advertising, but in my drawer, who keeps tea in a filing cabinet? I have some tea and coffee from the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. Very nice people to deal with. I'm not advertising them by any means at all, but I recommend them very highly, and if people don't go and buy them, I shall never get paid. Oh, I don't get paid. No, but
I buy the 58p ones from Tesco's.
Do you? And
Yep.
Are you one of those people who think there is no difference in flavour, or does it not matter to you?
If you put 2 tea bags in, I can't really taste the difference. But
Right, but are you not getting through your tea bags much quicker by shoving 2 in instead of 1?
maybe, but because they're so cheap, I see it that it's a penny a cup when you've got, you'd work out 40 tea bags on it.
Right. Yes. Well, I think everyone's obviously entitled to make their tea in any way they like, and obviously some people like it very strong. Do you add sugar?
No, not. I do in coffee, but not in tea.
What kind of milk do you have? Do you have full fat milk? Do you have the green top, or the one that looks like it's just had all the milk taken out of it and they've left a bit of coloured paint in there?
We should have the green one. Oh, excuse me. But my husband always picks up the blue one, so
good for him. Good for him. Do you know? I was listening to a podcast of some years ago now, about 10 years ago, and it was a bloke who worked in the milk industry who was on this podcast, and he was talking about full fat milk and semi-skimmed, and he said the difference in the fat that's in milk and what you take out in semi-skimmed is so he said there's so little fat in milk anyway that when people have it for their tea or for a bowl of cereal, it's almost so incidental. But we've been sold this whole, what he said was a scam of the semi-skimmed milk.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that believe that eating fat doesn't make you fat.
Exactly, I'm with you there. I mean, when they used to come out with all the margarines and the spreads and this, that and the other, I thought, I don't know, anything that's man-made and manufactured and all that is a bit weird, whereas butter is a much more natural thing, straight out it doesn't come straight out of the cow. You obviously have to do a few little things to it. But it's not sort of a chemistry set game.
Yeah, and most of the time with margarine, the first ingredient now is water.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not full of, what is that other stuff that everyone's trying to ban? Palm oil?
I don't know. I just always try not to get the one with water first.
Yes.
Get it a bit further down the list.
I don't know if you've ever tried palming oil, but it doesn't just, it just runs off you. And I don't get many, to be honest, if you rub your hands together rapidly, you don't get that much oil out of them anyway.
No.
Whereabouts are you? Whereabouts do you live, Mindy? What town are you in?
We're from Bognor Regis.
Oh, lovely Bognor. Is the Alexandra Theatre still up and running?
I don't know. I don't go into town very often.
Oh, do you not?
No, because I live quite close to Tesco's.
Right.
I tend to go from Tesco's right round to Liddell's and then back home.
Do you live in one of those nice new houses out of town?
No, I live in a house that's been painted blue to try and make it look better.
Oh, what colour was it before when you moved in?
White plastic cladding.
Oh, nasty.
And then at the bottom half it was all grey breeze blocks.
Oh, blimey.
So I think it's 70s or something it was built.
Oh, yeah, sounds very 70s. They did a lot with breeze blocks in there. I mean, I think they still use them, but or some sort of variant of them. And so, do you have a nice garden?
We have a bit of a shoebox as a garden.
Oh, that's a shame.
It might be a bit bigger than your back garden, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, my back garden is pretty small, and what there is full of logs.
Mine's full of rubbish, yeah.
Yeah. Well, none of us can go down to the amenities tip at the moment.
No, I can't drive anyway, so I've been putting all the rubbish in the back garden, saying to my husband, when you get time off, you can get rid of it.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he's still working.
Oh, is he a key worker?
Yeah.
What does...
Where on his location they're calling him a key worker, but
Yeah.
nothing medical, nothing.
No. What does he do?
He works for a holiday site.
He works for a holiday site.
Yeah, but they need
not the
people...
big one, not the big one with the big B. He's not...
No, the one with the H.
Oh, right, okay, Haven's sake. That one.
Huh?
Havens, is it Havens?
Yeah.
Where are they then? Are they in Bognor?
Pagham.
Pagham, yes, of course. There's, Pagham. That's very nice.
Yeah.
It's nice down in Pagham.
Yeah, there's only like 10 of them still working.
Is there?
But...
Is there anybody actually on holiday there?
No.
No, so they're doing sort of maintenance and keep... Because I've been yeah, so they can keep their distance, can't they? Can be socially distant and get on and enjoy the weather whilst attending to the verges.
Yeah, with him, it's best to keep a distance because he's got a bit of a... sort of... What? He doesn't mix well with others, that's how I put it.
Oh, he's got a bit of a temper on him, has he?
He gets fed up if people don't pull their weight.
Oi, you! Hurry up! Get over it, you swine! What are you mucking about over here?
He will actually say that sort of thing too.
Will he?
Yeah, he doesn't hold back.
Excellent, that's what we like. Somebody who knows their mind and is happy to say it. That's what we want. That's what we want. And what happened? How did you two get together then? I was picturing this. Oi, you woman, come over here. You're marrying me, and that's it.
Well, he actually lived in Chichester,
right,
quite close to St Richard's Hospital.
Oh yes, nice.
I moved into the same road when I was 10, and he was like 13.
Oh.
Didn't date or anything.
No.
But then we met each other when I was 16 again, because I'd moved away. And we've been married since just before I was 18.
Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's lovely. That's really lovely.
It's nearly 28 years now.
28 years.
So.
I don't know. And now you're lumbered with him, and he shouts at all the neighbours, and you've got him working hard.
Well, I always joked that he married him because he was a redhead.
Is he a redhead?
He's been bald for the last 10 years.
Oh, I see.
But for some reason, if he goes to a nightclub, he hasn't been to one for like 10 years.
No.
Ladies used to want to touch his bald head.
Do they?
And they're like, oh, can we feel how smooth it is?
And do you mind that?
No.
No. Well, I mean, you might do. Some women would be a bit upset if other women wanted to touch their husband's bald head.
A bit of flirting doesn't hurt.
No.
Because I think if he didn't look, then I'd be worried.
Right, yes.
You've got to look, or else, he's not interested in anything.
Is he not in anything?
No, he wouldn't be interested if he didn't look at them.
No. Yes.
He can look, but he can't touch.
Yes, that's it. Make sure the plate glass window is there between you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best policy.
I'm going to let you start your cake because I've gone upstairs, so I can't actually see if you're eating your cake yet.
Oh, I've eaten it. It's all gone. It's all gone. No, I haven't. No, I'm just lying. I'm going to start eating my cake. I know. Isn't that nice that somebody would come to the house and drop some cake round?
Well, I just thought I'd let a lady be your first caller instead of all these men each night.
I know. Fantastic. Well, I hope you will ring again, Mindy.
I will do. Thank you.
Wonderful. It's been lovely talking to you and finding out a little bit more about you, and everybody there is saying some nice things.
Yep. All right.
So take care and thank you for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There we go. That's the lovely Mindy from Bognor, whose fiery red-headed husband, who's now bald, works in a holiday place, shouting at everybody as he is sorting out the verges. And what a lovely way to be. I think that's absolutely marvellous. We've got cake, ladies and gentlemen. We'd better give Mindy some time to get downstairs before I open the cake. So let's have a look and see what people have been saying. I hope they've been saying nice things about Mindy, because very brave for new callers to call in. Michael Angel says, what would we do without tea? Exactly. The same one who keeps his porridge in it, says Brian Matthews. Yes, I keep my porridge. What will I put in my drawers next? Dear, oh dear. What have we got here? I hadn't thought of that, says Julia to Philip, and I don't know what she's replying to. Claire Leach says, I don't know. What would I do without my coffee machine? I have one a day, but do have loads of tea. I don't know. Some days I drink more tea than coffee, and some days I drink more coffee than tea. So there we are. I don't know what I would do without that. Philip Hammond says, when I was a teenager, I worked on a farm that had a channel island cows. Okay. The cream went down about 2 inches from the bottom, straight from the cows. Oh, right. Oh, a Channel Island cow. Oh, sorry. I was trying to work out what you meant by that. Oh, and the cream went 2 inches from the bottom, straight from the cow. Isn't that amazing? Mark Selwood says, I've been given alcohol hand sanitizer by a Cornwall cider company at work. 95% alcohol and a strong cider smell. I keep licking my hands, I does, as I start singing the wurzels. I got a can of sanitizer, it's very nice. It's like some cider. Anyway. Somebody translate breeze block, says Jeff Kennison. Yes, tell Jeff what a breeze block is. It's time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the camera working. We are going to open the cake. Here it is. Bing! Bing! And the cake is coming out. Oh, my goodness, I can smell it. The aroma is terrific. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Oh. God, is there alcohol? Dawn, is there alcohol in this cake? Or beer. It smells like... It does smell beery. Have you got beer in this cake? What will there's 2 pieces in here. Look at that. There's 2 pieces. And when you said icing on it, you didn't say it was chocolate icing. I should have bought a spoon. I'm feeling that this is quite sticky. I'm going to go and get a spoon. We will come back and eat cake in a minute. I will tell you what it's like. Does look very, very lovely. Fantastic. People are telling Jeff what breeze blocks are, which is great. Julia saying, thanks for calling, Mindy, which was fantastic. Mike Dixon says the solution is the global pandemic is tea. Oh, the solution to the pandemic. Absolutely. Kevin's Rambles. Hi, everyone. I just cropped in quickly to see if everyone is behaving. I'm lying on my sofa with a back massage my lovely daughter brought in tonight. Yes, his daughter dropped off a back massager because he's hurt his back. And as somebody said, I don't know who it was, send in the Radian B. That's what he needs. Radian B will keep him fine and in jolly good company. Right, going to get a video going. Meanwhile, I'll go and get myself a little fork and then I can eat this cake. So, Gabriel has been out and about with his exciting new series, mini videos of the locality. Let's find out what he's been talking about today.
I've come down from Boroughmont now to the village that nestles at the bottom, which is called Boroughbridge, just to see what's here and have a look around. Want to pick up on the Alfred references, because obviously this place is highly associated with King Alfred, and have a look at the area.
Many folk driving into Glastonbury from the M5 wrongly assume that Boroughmont is in fact Glastonbury Tor. As you can see, it does look rather like the Tor. There are many fine examples of pretty chocolate box cottages throughout the village of Boroughbridge, just like this one here. We are looking along the River Parrett here, and on the right hand side you can clearly see the flood defences which were completed in 2015. These, along with an extensive dredging programme, should prevent the sort of flooding that happened here in 2014 from ever occurring again. Here we are looking southwest towards Taunton along the main A361. This floods very frequently to a considerable depth, often closing the road for days on end. This shot from the floods of 2014 was taken from exactly where I am now standing. It shows a poor unfortunate motorist and his car being rescued from the clutches of the murky water. If you walk a couple of 100 yards further along the A361, you will see these permanently fitted gates, placed here in order to completely close the road, as motorists like the one in the last shot will always try to get through.
I've come here to the Levels Basket Centre, which is about half a mile further on down the road from Boroughbridge, where we just were, because I wanted to show you the extent of the flooding in this area. If I can find it, I'm going to superimpose a photograph of this spot when underwater in the floods of 2014, just so that you can see how deep the water was.
Boroughbridge and Athelney, a mile to the southwest, have historical connections with King Alfred the Great. By 874, the whole of what was to become England had been overrun by the Danes, with the sole exception of Wessex, ruled by Alfred the Great. While celebrating Christmas at Cirencester in 1877, Alfred was attacked by Guthrum's army, with Alfred barely escaping with his life and a handful of followers. He eventually made his way here to the Isle of Athelney, which means Island of Princes, and may have been a royal estate known to Alfred. In Alfred's time, Athelney was an island surrounded by impenetrable bogs and marshes, perfect place to gather forces in secret and plan a counterattack. It was while at Athelney that Alfred famously burnt the cakes. By May of 878, Alfred was ready, and he marched his army to the Battle of Edington, where he finally defeated Guthrum's army, resulting in the setting up of the Danelaw. The effect of this on language, customs, place names, and of the future state of England was profound. Alfred went on to reign for another 20 years and is still the only English monarch to earn the epithet Great. I hope you've enjoyed my video today. I've been Gabriel of Glastonbury, this has been Boroughbridge and Athelney, and you've been an audience. Good night, and back to Richard in the studio.
Yes, indeed, we have been an audience. Thank you very much, Gabriel. That's very kind of you. What a lovely area. I'm really looking forward to getting out there and exploring with the lovely Julia all those wonderful places. Fantastic. So there we go. Now, I have been and managed to get a fork. So can you see it? There we are. Look, you can see it's a fork. Interesting stuff there. Jeff Kellison saying, if you play your cards right, Vobie, you could have daily food deliveries to your little box on the porch. Well, food parcels, please send them in to the poor starving bald bloke with glasses who goes out making videos each day. He gets very hungry, he does. He does indeed. He gets very hungry, which is great. Anyway, nice to see Kevin there. I hope, Kevin, that you noticed we did play your video in. How did you do it? How did you hurt your back? Painting your ceiling, asks Linda Kane. Claire Leach says that she loves wisteria. And Barry Stevens says, love these informative videos. Thanks very much for them. Linda Cadman says, watched your trip to Lancing. Oh, yes, it was fun going to Lancing on my bicycle. Hoping that you would ride on Shoreham Beach. Are you planning to go there, Richard? Well, I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't really got any plans. But that's certainly one that can go in the mix. It's not terribly far from that. I think that would be rather good. And when you say Shoreham Beach, which beach do you mean? Because there's the beach where the fort is, and I have been on there a few times, and then there's the other side where the Shoreham power station is. So, yeah, I guess, and then there's all round Shoreham itself. We did do one little sort of journey around Shoreham. Lots of places to go to. I hope this lockdown goes on forever. There's so many places to explore. I'm not running out of ideas at all. Not by any means of the imagination, he lies glibly. Tracy Murphy says, fantastic. Well done. Great video. Great one, Gabriel. Lots of ideas coming out there. So, right. Let's try this lovely cake. Thank you so much, Dawn and John. Here is another view. Oh, no, that's not another view. Let's just come out of that to go back into this and switch onto that. Oh, it's ever so complicated. And then go to there. There we go. So, it does look very tasty. Oh, I've missed some of the icing. Oh, look at that. It does smell like, smells yeasty, I suppose. Beer yeast. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like Guinness or something. That is delicious. Let me have a bit of icing. Cool, blimey. I did get a note saying you don't have to eat it all in one go because it is quite filling. And you're telling me it's absolutely lovely. And of course, with the icing, It's very sweet icing, I have to say. Now, of course, some people might sort of think that, you know, somebody would leave a cake like that, douse it in something poisonous. So, just to stop the show from going ahead, to break the run, so to speak. But no, it's really, really nice. It's a shame the lovely Julia isn't here. I don't know if Julia likes fruitcake, actually. Do you like fruitcake, Julia? By the time I see you next, it's going to be gone. I wonder if I can work my way through this. There is actually 2 pieces there, but rather than taking them out, it's very filling. How lovely is that? And it's all full of fruit, so it's got to be good for you. Part of my my daily 5. Claire Leach says the cake looks very tasty. Oh, it is very tasty. Thank you very much. Who's drooling? Yeah, sorry about that. Shouldn't really do that, really. By the way, my bread, I haven't heard back, actually, as yet. I need to check on Facebook just in case John and Dawn are still alive, actually, after tasting my bread. I don't know whether they enjoyed it or not enjoyed it. That was only the 4th little loaf I've ever made. But most of that's gone because I had some soup at lunchtime. Hot soup on a hot day like this. Can you believe it? Yeah? Yeah. Hot soup. Roast chicken it was. Roast chicken. Cream of roast chicken. If you can get the cream out of a roast chicken. I don't know how they squeeze it to get the cream out, but there it was. And I had that with some bread and a bit of cheese on it. So thank you very much. I was doing very well. So there we go. SpaceX, says Nigel Sadler, apropos of something, have just launched some satellites to watch and successfully landed the first stage again. I really don't know what he means. There we are, talking about cake, and he's talking about SpaceX and spandex. That's what comes to mind when I think of SpaceX. Hi, Linda. Munchley is very close. What is Munch? Oh, Much. Muchiny. Muchiny. Is it tiny? It's very tiny, very small. I'm not too partial to fruitcake, unfortunately. Fortunately for me. Oh, there was me saving a bit for the lovely Julia. I tell you, I should be gobbling all of this then, myself. We'll show another video, and then after that video, we'll open up the phone lines. Sorry, I've been munching too much on the old cake. I know what they say, shut your cake hole. So we will shut our cake hole. And Adrian has been going around doing a little bit more filming. This is very nice, Adrian. Turbo stream on the canals. Canals seem to be the flavour of the month at the moment.
Good morning, Richard. This is Adrian at Turbo Stream. Well, we're on our bike today and we've come to the junction of the Worcester and Birmingham Canal and the Stratford Canal. So you can see there, the Bridge 72. And as we pan round, that is the Stratford Canal. It's a very bright day today, so apologies to the sun. And that in direction goes down to Worcester. That's the continuation of the Worcester Canal. It's quite a popular place for people to come walk in the boats and to gongoozle. So what we'll do, we'll just go over to that bridge and have a look at the other direction. And this building that's under the scaffolding was the original canal toll house. Sadly, a couple of years ago it got vandalised and burned to the ground. And I think they are restoring it. Hopefully I can find it. I'll put a picture up how it used to look above this. This is a beautiful, tranquil place on a weekday, Gibbsthorne Junction. I love this sign. 24.5 miles to Worcester, 58 locks. 25.5 miles to Stratford, 55 locks. And 20.5 miles to Warwick, 40 locks. And around the back. 5.5 miles to Birmingham, 0 locks.
Here we go. How about that? That was fantastic. So I so want to get back on a canal boat now. I keep either seeing videos on them or what with the Basingstoke Canal the other day and now that one. It's just, the bridges. It's just so idyllic. It's so idyllic, isn't it? And the weather that we've been having, obviously at the moment, from watching Fran and Rich from floating our boat, they're not really going anywhere other than just filling up with water because of the problems with the virus and everything, which is a real shame. But to be pootling around, if you're allowed to pootle, if that's a term, at 4 miles an hour on the British waterways would be so lovely right now. And it's interesting because Jeff Kellison, lovely Jeff out there, he thought that we were going on our canal boat in May. And I'm so... And we nearly, Julia and I spent a morning looking and planning when we were going to go on our canal boat trip for the next one coming up, because we enjoyed it so much the time before. And we were looking and there was this opportunity to go in May, and we thought, well, we may do that. But actually we chose to go in October, the same time as we went last year. And now, of course, having put the deposit on it, I'm so pleased that that's what we did, because otherwise we would have to have had cancelled it. So we do have that joy, which hopefully by then this lockdown and all that business is over and we can get on the canal boat and actually have some fun. And of course, make some videos about our journey. Anyway, the cake has been delicious, absolutely delicious. And I've just noticed on Facebook, just quickly checking, and here we go. I've got a message from Dawn and John who says, just back from a walk, Ferringbrook Lane, that you put on YouTube. So enjoyed. We were hungry, so we have your lovely bread. It was amazing good. So enjoyed. Thank you very much. That's right. They're lying through their teeth saying they enjoyed it, but how nice. But thank you very much. I'm so pleased. How about that? That is superb. Well, thank you, Adrian, Mr. Turbo Stream. Looking forward. He says he's been out filming some more, which is lovely. It does make you think, you kind of like the area you're in, but there's always other people who are living in areas that have got more beautiful things than you. It's the other man's grass is always greener scenario, which is always a problem, but we have to get over it because it's generally not that true. Anyone want to give us a call on 0793 4746 please do. People are saying very nice things. What? No foxes afloat, says Brian Matthews. Nigel Sadler says, I had both audios running together. Good for him. That's obviously when he's, taking to the footpaths himself. Connor's Dark Corner says, I saw the first... we were talking about this SpaceX things. I don't know what this SpaceX thing is. A couple of months ago, and thought it was aliens till the morning when my dad told me. I don't watch news, so I had no clue what it was. And to be honest with you, I have no clue what it is myself, because, like you, I don't watch the news. So there we go. What is SpaceX? What else do we get? Locks an idyllic location. Looks like an idyllic location. It certainly does. Those bridges, nobody designs those bridges like that anymore, do they? And Robert Baxter says, was that a guillotine lock at the end? Oh, yes, I was going to mention. That is very nice looking guillotine. Very dark, suspicious one. You wouldn't want to put your head underneath there in too much of a hurry. There's some lovely ones on the Newport Canal, on the Shrewsbury to Newport Canal. Someone seems to have stolen my narrowboat from underneath me and plonked me in this messy house, says the lovely Julia. Have no fear, lovely Julia. In October, I shall be whisking you and little Joseph away again, and we will go pootling up and down the canals on a different canal. We're going on the Oxford Canal, I think. We have a caller, ladies and gentlemen. We have a caller. Let's find out who it is. Hello, caller.
Here, Bobby, give us that fruitcake or me and my brother will have you.
No, you're not having it. You're not having it. Look, I'm sealing it back up so no one can have it. It's mine, all mine. How are you, Ed?
It's not bad, thanks. You, Richard?
Yeah, not too bad. How did I know it would be a Londoner coming in going, oi, mate, give us the cake?
I can't imagine how. I'm such a gentle soul.
Yeah, such a gentle... I say, old chap, any chance I could have that cake? Hand it over, or I'll show pictures of you and Matilda. I said, if you've got any pictures of me and Matilda, I'd like to see them myself. She sounds a lovely girl. How are you? What have you been up to, Ed?
Yeah, just tinkering around with what's that thing you use again?
Electric Hoover. Hoover.
No, my brain's gone dead. The editing software you use.
Oh, DaVinci Resolve.
I've been tinkering around with that on my brother's laptop for about 6 hours today. It was learning my way around it. It was quite fun.
Yes, I must spend more time learning how it works myself. What version has he got?
I downloaded the 16 version. Yeah. I know you're on the older version.
I'm only on the old version because I'm rather worried about upgrading to 16 and then finding it doesn't work and then not being able to go back and losing.
Stick with what works, I would say. Yes. That's what I've always done with computers.
Absolutely, yeah. But I have helped young Kevin out recently, and I've noticed that between 15 and 16, I apologise for talking sort of technical stuff, but just briefly, they have moved. They've moved a few things about and added things. So it's always difficult when you're trying to talk to somebody and you're using an inferior version, and they're going, no, it doesn't do that. Goes, well, it bloody used to.
Well, I've had rather a conundrum with filming in the dark, and
well, you would do filming in the dark.
I discovered, much to my amusement, that you still had to light things and get things really bright to make it look dark.
Oh, I see. Sorry, when you said filming in the dark, I thought you meant you were doing some radio or podcasting. Suddenly, when there's no picture, no, it's interesting because in the old days, in the old feature films, they used to have this term "day for night," and you'd go out and they would say on a location, you'd go, "We're going to do the night shots now," and you think, well, it's in mid-afternoon. What do you mean? And they would say, no, it's all right. We're going to film day for night. And the principle was they just turned the aperture down on the camera, so it was just a bit darker, but you still had the bright sunshine. You could still see that, and that was supposed to be the moon. They'd cut to shots of the moon, and you thought, and maybe they would just filter it slightly blue, and that was it. But as you quite rightly so, if you're really trying to get that feeling of it being dark, you want to film in as less light as possible so that your shadows are really dark.
Yeah.
But you still got to light your subjects so they're light enough, but they're not lit in the way that daylight or a light bulb would light somebody.
Yeah, it was quite a conundrum at the time because I'd got my brother to stay up late and help me film.
Poor brother. And, you're not going to bed until I've got this film made. Oh, please.
And we both sort of recorded for about 2-3 minutes and realised, no, we need to light this. And
yes,
we had a torch and the torches of our phones, and we were trying to have a sort of spooky feel to things. So I had one torch sort of looking up,
yes,
kind of rather rudely between my legs, to sort of reach up to my chin and my nose and cast long shadows.
Yes, because there's always a bright light from between your legs, isn't there?
There's one between my ears as well.
Is it? That's dimming slowly.
And it was really interesting. It was like discovering new things all the time and how to light things. And of course, all we had was a torch and a phone.
Yes,
so
yes.
Really, really basic stuff. And I'm waffling, but I would encourage anyone to give it a go. It's a laugh, if nothing else.
It's a laugh. On your phone, can you switch it on to manual so that you can turn the aperture down so that you can actually make it darker or lighter?
Now, I would imagine I can, because I do have a rather...
You have a Swish phone, do you?
Fancy phone by my standards, but I haven't messed about with it and tried all that. Right. I just thought I'm going to get the footage and then try and sort of adapt it in post, because I'm not sort of too comfortable with filming yet. So at the moment, I'm obviously going to be filming most of my stuff at daytime, and I don't need to know too much about nighttime.
The thing about one of the not secrets really, but one of the principles of lighting anything, when you start to bring in lights. I remember when I was starting with the Super 8 film. And I had these lights. You could buy these lights, which were 1,000-watt halogen lights. And they were bright. I mean, they were bright. But you needed a lot of light because we were filming on Kodachrome 25 or something. Really, it needed a lot of light. And it was beautiful, beautiful colours. The colour space was wonderful. But you needed a lot of light. And if you were filming on something like that, you had these 1,000 watt. And the thing was, as a rank amateur, you'd just get these things and point them straight at you. So when it came back, of course, you had hard shadows behind you, and it looked like you were constantly in front of somebody's car with their headlights glaring straight at you.
Oh.
So the thing to think about with any lighting in a video is, where is that light actually coming from? Not coming from the bulb you're holding in your hand, but in real life, because you're emulating real life. So it's presumably, if you're filming at night, it's either going to be a light bulb in your house, or perhaps a light in the street, or the moon. Or maybe...
Well, I was going for a sort of unnatural effect to unnerve people.
Yes.
So I wanted the light coming from beneath, which is completely unnatural.
Well, it is unnatural, but sometimes you can. But hang on a minute. Ideally, you still want to have a rationale for the light being there. So if you were, say, crawling on floorboards in an attic, you could have light. And you wanted it to look really weird, and like you've just said, but you could have light coming through the cracks in the floorboard from the level below. That would be the rationale. You'd still put your lights underneath you, but the rationale would be, that's where the light is coming from. You always got to think, where is the light that I'm emulating coming from? It's not just, it doesn't just like an orb appear, because that's very odd.
Yeah. That was I bounced the light off the floor, so it wasn't a direct light. My sort of thinking behind it was, this is the moon coming through a window.
Yes.
Bouncing off the floor into my face.
There you go. That's all right. You've got rationale.
And then the other light was a very, very weak light. It was just the light off an old phone.
Yes.
So I placed that down between my ankles while I was sitting down, so the light was coming up. But the light coming from between my legs was much dimmer than the light coming from an angle and hitting the floor.
Yes.
And I had two lights, basically, one very dim and one very bright, and the bright light was being bounced.
Right.
I don't know if that's the right way to go about it.
Well, you could.
But it seemed to give me the best effect.
You usually have a key light, which would be the light source in your scene. So if it was the moon coming through a window, that would be your key. And it's always great to have a key light that doesn't hit you full in the face. So in other words, hits you, glances across you, because then you get a wonderful effect. Then you can fill that with the secondary light pointing at you that's slightly diffused. Yeah, and you can fill it enough, but so it never takes over the key light. It's never more powerful than the key light.
Yeah, so it sounds like that's accidentally what I've ended up doing in a strange way. But
good,
just
it's
by
fun though. You're right.
Just by tinkering about for a few hours, I had quite a good time. And
there was us having this incredibly hot, marvellous, sunny day, and there you are, curtains closed, scrabbling about inside. It's sacrilege.
Well, I did this at night time the other day, but if I could have gone back and rewound the clock, what I would have done now I've been editing it today, I would have done it in daylight and just sort of, pulled the curtains a bit and made it a bit darker, maybe messed about with the aperture or, edited it in post or something. But I've ended up doing it in DaVinci and sort of giving everything a tiny bit of a blue tinge.
Yes. It's probably looks amazing. You'll have to send it in.
Yeah, we're coming in soon.
Oh, there we are. Something to look forward to.
I would imagine probably in time for Monday's show. I always try and get them in for Monday. So.
Oh, right. Oh, you're a Monday boy, are you?
Yeah, it just seems it fits nicely on the calendar, doesn't it? But wasn't it? I was going to say, wasn't it lovely to hear from Mindy? It's nice to hear a new voice.
Absolutely lovely to hear from Mindy.
A lady caller as well, because we do get so many boring men with beards like me calling in.
Yes, so many men with beards. What is it with beards? I mean, there's that thing about 5-6 years ago, suddenly it became a big fashionable thing. Didn't you remember? Everybody had to have a bushy beard.
Well, I noticed it started coming on when all these sort of fantasy films were coming out. Lord of the Rings kind of came out. I'm not saying it's because of that, but that's when I noticed it.
Yes.
This sort of unshaven sort of... At the time, it was almost like a scraggly look. I thought grunge was going to come back for a time.
I know, it was very much like you see images of old shepherds. And they had this... It was just this very... springy, curly sort of bouncy beard that young faces whom I had spent so many years looking at young faces that were clean shaven or stubble now had this sort of mountain of bum fluff all round their face. And I just thought, you don't look old enough to have those beards. And somebody said, oh, they're hipsters. Does that and I didn't never really understand, I'm somebody who's sort of obviously out of the main groove of the fast lane or anything like that. And I don't even know what a hipster is. I thought a hipster must be somebody who's got things, a hot water bottle or something tied to his hip.
I thought they were a style of jeans, but
there we go. That goes to your hips.
I'm a fashion-conscious person.
Maybe
so...
somebody could give us the definition of a hipster, because I really don't know what a hipster's supposed to be. I mean, is it that they're hip and cool? Is that cool? Can't be cool with a great big load
I've
of bum
never
fluff
been
around.
accused of being cool. Definitely not. In fact, I used to go to college dressed the way you see me dressed in the videos. With a blazer.
Smart.
Yeah, and everyone else would be there in their t-shirts and shorts. And...
it's despicable.
But I've had the beard since I was about 17 as well. So
say about 7. But your beard is a smart beard. It looks like it's well groomed and looked after. It's not just left to do its own thing, in which you could forage for fruit and veg in there, sort of 20 years.
My hair's getting that way now. It really is. I've been saying in the chat box, I don't know if you noticed, about a week I've been saying I'm going to shave it all off, because it's just, I used to have really long hair, but there's that period between really long and short where it's just scruffy, and you have to be very patient and let your hair grow out, and I haven't got the patience anymore. So I give myself a week at tops and all my hair will be gone. I just can't be dealing with it. So
and when you say gone, I mean, are you really talking like mine? It's completely gone? Bald as anything?
I'll just get the razor out and
some people don't suit it, do they? Some people, you look at them and you think, oh my God, your face, I'm no disrespect to the person, but they suddenly look as hard as nails. And I always worried that when I was losing my hair and I thought eventually I'm going to end up being bald, will I look like one of these rough skinheads, that sort of is going to nut you the soonest look at you? And actually, luckily, I think I've got a reasonably soft face.
You look like someone that I could trust. If I met you walking down the street and I dropped my wallet, I feel like you're someone who would pick it up and hand it to me.
Yes. And in reality,
I know
I'm somebody.
What you mean. Some people look really shifty and mean when they got.
Well, that's what every conman needs, isn't it? That trustful face says, "Oh, here we are. There's your wallet back," and has actually taken out the £20 note that surreptitiously they got out. So
well, you're conning people out of cake, aren't you? I quite admire that talent.
Oh,
I wish I could do that.
Conning them out of cake, which will make me too fat in the end to be able to run away if I do pick up anybody's wallet.
Yeah, I can't imagine you being fat. I saw you when you were on the steroids, and you didn't look fat. You looked
ill,
sort of like watery, like you had a lot of water retention.
Yes.
I can't imagine you looking fat.
No,
I don't know. I got the body shape of a blimp myself, so
it's all muscle. Now, tell me. I mean, you used to do bodybuilding.
No, I was never a bodybuilder. I was a weightlifter.
Oh, weightlifter.
Yeah.
So hang on a minute. What's the difference then between a weightlifter? I mean, you're building.
A bodybuilder will do it for the look.
Yes.
A weightlifter does it to lift as a sport.
Right.
So,
but both of them are gaining weight in terms of muscle.
Not necessarily. No. A weightlifter, also with weightlifting, there's weight categories. So a super heavyweight won't be bothered about if the muscles show or not.
Right.
As long as they're strong and as long as they have the knowledge to lift.
Yes.
So weightlifting is more of a sport, and there's a lot of knowledge behind it. If you could be the strongest person in the world. If you go and try and lift a crazy weight, you'll pull your back out, you'll tear your hamstrings.
So are you in the division of Jeff Capes?
To be honest, I wouldn't know who Jeff Capes is. Was he the person that hit the gong?
Oh, what in the rank videos? You mean?
Yeah.
No, Jeff Capes, I think, was one of the strongest men, wasn't he? He used to pull buses with. I think he was. Am I thinking of the right person? They'll tell me. I thought
Yeah,
Jeff
they'll tell
Capes
you.
was one of these big burly blokes when they used to have the strongest man competition. And
A weightlifter, actual weightlifting is an Olympic sport, and there's only 3 moves that you do. So
Only
all
3?
this like pulling buses and things like that, that's strongman competitions.
Oh, right, okay.
But you probably, as a super heavyweight, you usually have a bit of a gut. You know, you're not going to have a 6-pack or anything like that. But some of the lower weight categories, they have to keep trim, and they will have all the 6-packs and look quite nice and things like that. But probably at the Olympics, the person with the closest build to a bodybuilder would be a male gymnast. And they are immensely strong. You know, when I was at school, the boys used to laugh at people like that, but they're immensely strong, flexible. They'd be great at martial arts and things like that as well. So
see, Jeff Capes, Jeff Lewis Capes. He's born in 1949, a former shot putter, strongman, and professional Highland Games competitor.
So he might have a similar build to like a heavyweight weightlifter,
right?
Where he's not cut, you know, to have like a 6-pack or anything, perhaps, but he's still quite, you know, well built and doesn't look obese or anything.
No.
I never got very far in it, but I was more the sort of what sort of a build? How can I describe my build? I had muscles, but there was a layer of fat over the top of them, so I was never particularly bothered about looking good, you know.
Yeah. Interesting. Hipsters. We've got some people saying what the hipsters are. Hipsters is a person who follows the latest trends and fashions, especially those regarded as being outside the cultural mainstream. So is that not an oxymoron? Somebody who follows the latest fashions, but then is outside the mainstream. Surely the ones in the mainstream are the ones doing the main following, aren't they?
Well, I never understand things like this. It's like when people say, "Oh, I'm a liberal," but if you don't think like them, then tolerate you.
Yeah.
And that's not very liberal, is it? So I've never been a follower of fashion. I've never been someone who goes with the trend. I normally go against the trend.
Yes.
So
hipsters like cycling, beards, soft jazz, laid back coffee drinkers, dressed like a geography teacher.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know if that's what you have to do. Anyway, listen, it's been lovely to talk to you, and thank you for telling me about your wonders in the dark. Lights and you know, the light between your legs in the dark has been a fascinating insight into the world of Ed Loud. But we look forward to the video on Monday.
Yes, and thank you for the show again.
It's my pleasure.
Have a good night.
Thank you, and look after yourself.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Take care, Ed. There we are. Ed, who's not like Jeff Capes, but I'm glad I managed to fish that name out of the old memory bank. The barbers are closed. Bald people are laughing at us hairy folk. Yes, as long as I can get a Bic razor, I'm all right. Philip Hammond's gone to sleep. Sorry about that, Philip. Mark Donny McLeod says he's set me off now making turkey burgers with bacon and cheese and whole grain mustard. Oh, lovely. There is probably, what is this? There's probably a slightly worse chance than 50% chance that you are correct. Not quite sure what that is. Josephine says, I wonder if Faden will be on tonight. Morton Lewis says, Turbo, yeah, it's a long way. Used to cycle or walk from Alton to see my girl at Maypole back in the 80s, but the journey is basically Maypole, Shirley, Streetsbook, St. Bernard's Road. I guess that's a long old way. Beards came in with Moses, says Mark Selwood. Yes, and of course Moses was a very popular man, wasn't he? Carrying all those tombstones on his back, or the commandments, wasn't it? Richard, you look like someone out of Snug and Cozy, says Ron Langley. Oh, I always get that. People are always saying, here, you look like that bloke from... And I go, oh, you slimping schlappard. And luckily, they don't know what I'm talking about. Jeff Capes was English, and he went to the Highland Games, tossing the caber. Who would have thought that you could even do that with a piece of wood? Rami Boo says, oh, you beat me to the Google, Claire. There we go. You have to be faster than that. He was only 4'9" as well, apparently. Jeff Capes bred champion bugles. Bugles? Budges. Imagine breeding champion bugles. And here Jeff Capes is out there breeding his champion bugles, and he's going to play the first one. Very good, Jeff. Have you got any others? Yes, I've got this one. I call him Titch. Come here, Titch. And here comes little Titch. What kind of bugle is this? Oh, he's a yellow-feathered bugle from Puerto Rican. Oh, are you going to play him? Yes, of course. Boop, 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 boop. Yes, a very typical Puerto Rican tune there. Boop, 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 boop. Are they still watching? There's 92 of them. Right, we better go and get a video on, I suppose. Let's get rid of that number. We got some lovely videos. Let's. Now, Mike has sent in 2 videos today, which is very good. It's a bit like the BBC here. It's a little same sort of thing, but done in 2 completely different styles. It's almost as if he sent in one video for BBC One and another one, which is a bit more arty, for BBC Two. So we are going to go and have a look at the BBC One version first of all. Thank you, Mike.
Good morning, Richard and Vobesters. It's Mike Dixon and Bella. We're out this morning near Bramber and the River Ada and the Bramber Brooks. Just taking Bella for her morning walk within our hour's exercise. And it's absolutely beautiful down here this morning, and hence the sunglasses. But just to pan around, and there's bluebells, and we've seen loads of red kites in the sky. A whole display of different birds. But it's very, very beautiful down here this morning, next to Seal Church, Seal Priory, which is all locked up because of the pandemic. But everybody's trying to keep their distance down here. But came down on our bicycle, and just to see some of the wildlife, a whole display of red kites and kestrels up in the sky above us. And the Bramber Brook here looks very, very beautiful. Crystal clear water. Loads of birds. Just what I needed this morning, as I was feeling a bit down yesterday. I think with a lot of people feeling a lot of pressure at the moment with this pandemic, and quite scary really, and lots in the news about the massive impact it's having on the nation's mental health. So I thought Bella and I need a little bit of ecotherapy, so hence we come down here for our morning walk. Anyway, I thought I'd share it with you, a little bit what's going on down here, and now pass you back to Richard in the studio. Take care. Keep safe. Bye.
Thank you very much, Mike. That's very kind. And of course, it's nice to have all that brain stuff for our mental health. All that lovely echo. What did you call it? Euro? No, not euro. Oh, I must buy some euros. No, I mustn't. What is it? The for the neuroplasticity, whatever it's called. The mental plastic. The brain. Oh, Julia knows what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, thank you very much. Now, we will see the BBC Two version of Mike a little later on. You're very welcome to call. We've got a few minutes left. There was something in here that I meant to read out. Andrew Norris has arrived. Hello, Andrew Norris. A little late, but you're here. Well, you know, sometimes it does take Croatia a little bit of time to... By the way, Andrew Norris... Did you hear that over in Los Angeles, they've had an earthquake? That little fault line of yours in Croatia's taken 2 or 3 weeks to get over there. It's that whole business of if a butterfly drops a feather in one part of the world, another feather is picked up by an elephant. Is that the phrase? Something like that, isn't it? It's if a feather is doing the can over here, there's... a boa constrictor doing the can't over there. It's something to do with the atmospheric pressure. So if somebody sneezes on the planet Mars, for example, it takes 251,000 light years to get there. And the chances of anything coming from Mars are 100 to 1, he said, but still they come. And it's true. They still come. I don't know what they're coming for. Coming for a holiday, now's the time to come along because there's nobody on the beaches. There's a lot of people walking along the promenade, looking at the beaches, going, Do you think we could go down onto the beach? No, we've got to keep moving. We've got to keep moving. We're not allowed to sit on the beach. The police will come along and their boats and with their loud hailers.
Can you get off the beach, please? This is the police. There is a lockdown. You're not allowed to sit on your own on the pebbles just in case. You never know. The seaweed might have the virus. Thank you. Please move along. That's it.
People are just move along looking at things now. They can't actually stop and go anything. Do you know I've been walking for 32 years? Have you really? Yes, I can't stop. I just keep moving. I daren't stop it, not even in my own room. It's terrible. It does sound terrible, dear. Yes, it sounds terrible because you've got the same face as mine. Have you? I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Ed Loud says that I keep feeling it's time for another one of your how-tos. How to put it all together video. Oh, yes, how to put it together video. Yes, I might do one of those how to repair your gutter videos. How to slice your fingers off with a pair of secateurs. Barry Stevens says, sorry, folks, we didn't do a video today as I was worried that people might be getting bored. I buried Faden up to the neck and left him out to dry. What? You can't possibly be serious. Oh, no. I just told Baden people were asking for him. His face lit up and made his night. Ah, bless. Faden, we miss you. We miss you. We definitely want a video from you tomorrow. Most definitely. I don't care where it is. Even if it's just peering into a pond in the road. But as we haven't had any rain, there's not unlikely to be any ponds. But yes, maybe we should set you some challenges. We should set the Faden challenge. Standing on in the next video, you've got to stand on one leg at least once somewhere in the video, and we will see if we remember it, and then we'll think of some more challenges. How about that? Fantastic. Yes, if you want to send a video, thank you, Julia, for reminding. If you want to send a video, the best way to send them to me is to send them to my email address, richard@vobes.com. But send them via a web service called WeTransfer. In the description is the details on how to do it. WeTransfer.com, all one word. They will send large files, which saves clogging up my email account, for one thing, because it's Gmail, and any files over a certain size won't get to me. So they do that all for me, and then I just get an alert, and I download it and load it up here, and we can go into the video box and play the files. Do you remember Grace? She's been doing a series of videos that Mike Stevens has been very kindly sending over to me. Now, we've had such lovely sunny weather here, but where Grace lives, it's a slightly different story. She has flakes or flecks, even, of snow. There we go, a little bit of falling snow. But it's not so easy to capture falling snow on video, is it? Something to do with the way that the rolling shutter, or whatever they call it, on video works. Of course, in film, the lovely days of film, you can capture those sort of things, rain and snow and anything, like the thistledown floating, beautiful. Or, of course, I guess, it depends on what shutter speed you're using. But, yeah, especially on these phones and things, the video, it's quite weird. Things like propellers and car wheels is another thing. You see, in, life, you see it where a car wheel, it's going up, and the, what do you call it, the hubcap thing on the inside then starts to sort of slow down and appear to be going backwards in real life. But when you film it on video, depending on the speed of your shutter and whatever, it looks very strange. And yet on film, on proper 16mm or 6 Super 8 or whatever film, 35mm film, it's so much nicer. I don't know what it is, but it's a shame. I wanted to do a project. I want to do a project where I make one of my videos again in film. Now, I don't know if you can still get... I'd have to hire a decent 35mm camera, not a 16mm camera, and I'd have to get the negs transferred to video so that I could edit them on video. But just the process of filming back on film would be just delightful. I really would like to do that and spend the time to get every shot just looking perfect and have the great days. But I'd have to hire a proper 16mm camera, a decent one with decent lenses, but it would cost quite a bit. But it would be a lovely project, and then of course you could make videos about the project, and then show the final thing, which would be rather good. Somebody there is trying to work out how WeTransfer works. Yeah, you don't have to pay for WeTransfer if the files are under 2 gigabytes, which generally for a 2-minute video, don't make it too longer than 2 minutes. If they're about 2 minutes, generally they're not going to be over 2 gig. If they are, then you need to just put them through or re-render them as through something like Handbrake, which is a great little program, but that's a bit complicated to explain. But yeah, always looking for new people to send in videos, and ideas for videos could be very easy. You could just tell us how you're doing or something about yourself. Introduce yourself. Hi, Richard. My name's Barry. Not that Barry, obviously different Barry. And I'm a bass player for the Barry Bass Players Association. I've been making bass playing since the beginning of baseball. And I sit at the left bass. Sometimes I sit at the right. You could probably be a bit more interesting than me. I'm obviously talking complete and utter rubbish, as ever. We're going to go and see Mike's second BBC Two version. This is the slightly highbrow version, ladies and gentlemen, the slightly highbrow version of what we saw before. Mike, is that the haircut that you had? It was very lovely. In this video on BBC Radio, not BBC Radio 4, on BBC Two, we will see Bella having a nice little rest beside a stream. This is BBC Two.
Hello, Vobesters. It's Mike Dixon. I'm at the brook, the river, next to Seal Castle near Upper Beeding. And you can see we're taking Bella out for her morning walk. And we're just next to the weir. She's enjoying the beautiful sound and all the bubbles of the water flowing into the stream across this little weir, which is kind of oxygenating the water. Anyway, we're out for our morning dog walk, and then we'll head home, obviously making sure we're keeping distance from everybody. Came down on our bicycle, and Bella's got her own dog basket. I thought I'd just share with you for a few moments the beautiful sound and vision of the weir and the water. And at the bottom of the stream I can see loads of water snails, lots of them attached to the sandstone, which I've never noticed before. Anyway, I'll share it with you for a minute. I'll be quiet and you can just have a mindful minute of ecotherapy. Anyway, I thought I'd just share it with you today. It just seemed lovely sound and something lovely to look at, very relaxing. Just I think what the doctor ordered and we're in this lockdown due to the 2020 pandemic. Anyway, I'll pass you back now to Richard in the studio. Keep safe. Take care. Bye.
There we go. Who needs to go to the loo after that, eh? I was trying to look for the snails. I was trying to see the lovely little snails you talked about, but couldn't see them. Bit of a shame. But anyway, how lovely is that? Lovely to have those little snapshots of the countryside coming in. Very, very lovely. Very lovely. A bit of slow TV. That's what we like. Nice to see Bella. I was a bit nervous of Bella being on that post right there balancing. I thought, my goodness, what if she jumps in? Would you be able to get her out, or would she climb out? Does she like jumping into water herself? Is she a swimmer, or is she sort of scared of water? It would always I would be very worried about that myself. But anyway, lovely to see all that. Thank you so much, Mike. As ever, you're a good man. So that's all good. Let's have a look. The wheel trim. Yes, thank you, Henry's Adventures. Thank you so much for that. Yes, indeed. The wheel trim. That's the thing that has that funny business. He also says he's been having fun with his father's film shot in the 1990s and turning them into YouTube videos. What's the most strangest YouTube video that you have seen that's got you, not that's just weird because it's weird, but that's got you slightly spellbound? Love to know what other things that you watch other than this idiot here. What is the weirdest or the most unusual and compelling video that you've seen? What sort of thing is it that you watch? That would be fascinating to know. Lovely Weir, cute little Bella. Yes, very therapeutic. Thanks again, Mike. Days of Yore, I'm chillaxed. Yes, we need a bit of chillaxing. Josephine says, I need a wee, it's all the tea. Yes, indeed. I need another cuppa, actually. That's what I need. My voice is good. I didn't bring a glass of water into the studio. And I've got more cake to enjoy, which is super duper. What's tomorrow's book, says Morton Lewis. Now, I've been thinking about this. I was going to do, for those of you that don't know, in the mornings at 9:30 on the Bald Explorer YouTube channel, live in the mornings, I've been reading books. And I've been reading a book. And the first book I've been reading is a book by J.B. Priestley, which is a book called The English Journey, and it charts J.B. Priestley's journey up and down the English countryside, well, mainly through the cities and that sort of thing, in 1933, during the Great Depression, just before the Second World War, really. And it was a very interesting book. But we finished that this morning. We finished it. We got through the whole book, and it's been wonderful. So I've been racking my brains and thinking, what shall I do? And I've been looking at various books that I've got. And I thought I would read... I was at first going to read some, little bits from this and bits from that. But actually, I've decided on another book now. People have suggested lots of books, and it's been very helpful. And thank you for that. But I'm going to read a book by, what's his bloody initials? L.T.C. Rolt, called Narrowboat. We've been talking about canals. We've been talking and seeing canals. And Julia and I have been on a canal. We've got a canal trip coming up later in the year. We follow Floating Our Boat, Richard and Fran. And I thought it would be fun to read this book. It was first published in 1944. And it's right at the end of the canal, the working canals, going into sort of liquidation, if you like, being abandoned and forgotten about, and right at the beginning of the resurgence of the canals for pleasure. And I have read this book a long time ago. I can't remember all the details now, but it's the book that really sparked off the interest, and it's his story of they buy this lovely little canal boat, and they have an adventure on it, and I thought that would be quite interesting. So I hope you'll be interested in that. I do love the 1940s era, and I do love the language that they used to use in those sort of books. So it's right up my street. Henry's Adventures says, I'll tell you now, at some point in the next few weeks, something very weird is coming on Henry's Adventures. Something shot in 1993. Oh, looking forward to that. By the way, Henry, how is the visiting every model? Was it every model village you were going to visit? I think, or something like that. You were going to visit every. Just wondered how that's going. Mike Dixon says at one point Bella almost jumped into the river, but she enjoys swimming. Oh, that's all right. I would be slightly nervous. Ramiboo says I like watching Kylie the rooster every morning. Kyle the rooster. I never thought watching a guy talking to a yard full of his favourite feathered friends every morning could make me so happy. Go and check out Kyle the rooster. That does sound like barking. I like watching ubexing videos, says more. What's that? Is that meant to be unboxing? Unboxing. I never understood the unboxing videos. I never quite understand I mean, I can understand if you're looking up and you think, oh, I want to buy that camera and what comes with it. I get that, but I couldn't just watch them because I'm not interested in the object. It's just somebody opening a box. But hey-ho. Horror is my favourite genre, not modern ones, though, says Barry. So Hammer House of Horror, no doubt, with Peter Cushing and so forth. Nikki Jess says, very lovely video, cute Bella. Turbo Stream says, I thought of that book, Narrow Boat too. It's a terrific book. So we will start that tomorrow. I've read the first chapter actually in the Sun today. In between reading about the open fields. What an interesting show tonight, says Tracy Murphy. Thank you very much, Tracy. That's very nice. Some days, he says it's urbexing. What the hell is urbexing? What is that? Thank you, Tracy, for saying it's a nice show, because sometimes I just think, people must be bored. Sometimes I'm just speaking absolute drivel. I don't know. 97 people, 50 likes. If you're enjoying the show, give us a thumbs up. Henry's Adventures, every miniature railway. I filmed episode 20 just before the lockdown. Now the project's on hold till things get back to normal. Well done, 20. How many are there in Britain, miniature railways? Every miniature railway, not every model village. Yeah, there we are. Because I was going to say there's Beaconscott and probably a handful of others. But every model, miniature railway. Oh, well done. Urban exploration. Oh, I see. Urban exploration. All right, fair enough. I understand now what you mean. So obviously, that left. I had no idea what urbexing. Oh, I see. That's how you pronounce it. Charlie Chan. Very funny. Who said that? Brian Matthews. Charlie Chan. Yes. Love Hammer, of course. Ed Loud is talking Connor's Dark Corners. Some might say I'm weird and creepy. I wonder who would say that. And Robert Baxter says, I've been watching Metal Death Dan on YouTube, but he's been getting a bit political lately due to the coronavirus. The video he did on James Corden was funny. You'll have to... I'm not... the name James Corden rings a bell, but I can't bring him to mind. Henry's Adventures says urban exploring. Yes. And when you say urban, do you mean like walking around towns and things? I mean, I've been doing a bit of urban exploring. Henry's Adventures, there's about 340 that I know about. Beaconscott feature as it has a miniature railway. That was episode 5. There we go. If you want to check out Henry's Adventures, a delightful chap. And Henry, what was that? You got a diploma or something from YouTube. You sat an exam. What is that? What is that about? Maybe you could make a video and send it in, and we'll play it on the show. Morton Ambex is mainly young folk going to disused mines, tunnels, factories, semi-legal, tremendous fun. I would be worried about going if it was illegal, going and trespassing. I would be a bit worried. I get a bit nervous of those sort of things. I'm far too squeaky clean for my own liking, really. So yes, that would be that's about it, really. Well, listen, I think we're over past now, and people have got lives to get on with, and I've got sleep to go to, and I have a thumbnail and a description to do before I head to the land of Nod. So thank you so much for watching again, and for sending in all the lovely videos. It's been great, and for the phone calls, lovely to talk to you guys as well, and to read all your wonderful things. It's been great. This must be 37, is it? Show 37. My goodness, going to need a day off soon. Really am. brain is getting a bit zonked. But hopefully you're still enjoying it. We got 57 likes, so thank you so much for those. Absolutely wonderful. Take care. Look after yourself. Stay safe. Keep calm. Carry on. And I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 for narrow boating on the Board Explorer channel and 8 o'clock for another Vobes show. And your videos, send them in to richard@vobes.com, and it's going to be absolutely fantabadooze, as they say in Belgium. If they don't say that in Belgium, they probably say it somewhere else. Until next time, take care one and all, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Good job I turned the microphone off, isn't it? Oh, I'd hate people to hear me slurping away. Cake. Now it's time for cake.